Welcome back, everybody. So week 11, our illustrious guest. We're so fortunate
Cheers.
to have the inimitable Glenn Veness.
Welcome.
Morning.
He's a born and bredder.
Can I say I didn't know they were filming this morning? I didn't realise podcasts were filmed. I thought, so look,
You just thought it was, we were just...
I know, I just thought we was going to have a chat, got loads of notes.
Yeah.
But notes are good because we
Yeah.
have
You
notes
say
as well.
yeah.
Don't worry about it, love. It's all good. Because we pointed out earlier that he's on the cover of Get Hastings magazine.
And I've taken so much stick from Hollington lads, because it says
you?
there, Saint Glenn of Hollington, and I'm not a saint, and they've all given me stick for that one, I'll tell you.
We all know
Saint
you're
Glenn of
no
Hollington.
saint. We all know you're no saint.
So it's been, but yeah, that was lovely, because Mel did that.
Yeah.
We did that in Hastings Museum.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah, it
nice.
was in Hastings Museum.
Oh, whereabouts was it?
Great photographer, and they got all
Yeah.
these stuffed animals
Of
and
course.
birds.
Yes.
Because you know my garden's got I have lots of wildlife, badgers and foxes, obviously, and rats. I don't know if you know about the rat one. I don't mind rats, funnily enough. They've got a bad name from, the plague, but we had open sewers at the time, and it wasn't just the rat. And you know what it's like when you can't get something out of your head. So even for me, it's in my head, but so it's been very hard to accept them. Do you understand?
Yeah.
To actually not get stressed.
They get bad PR, don't they?
Well,
Like-
they do,
like
and they're no
pigeons.
worse than
They're
anything
really
else.
clever, aren't they? Clever
Well, they're
animals.
clever.
Yeah.
Blair says to me they're the only animal that can go to a beat with them. You know what I mean? I don't know that, yet. But what it is about them is, like, I have them on my deck and in the middle of the night. I'm up at 3 o'clock all the time.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because that's when I sort of meditate. So, and I put a little bit of food out, and they come out, and the little baby with a mum and dad. But I know it sounds stupid, but you think you're making them happy.
Yeah.
Their little brain, they've got a little brain,
Yeah.
and the mum and dad are getting the food and they're feeding the babies.
They're
Why would I
social.
want to kill them?
No.
Why would I want to kill them?
True.
It's like on this planet, we're all brothers and sisters, and to me, the animals are partly our brothers and sisters. We all belong here,
Yeah.
and none of us have the right to sort of kill just something for the sake of it. If he's been a pest, I can understand slightly, but if they're just in my garden, I'm not going to kill
Yeah.
them.
It's not just your garden.
Eh?
Yeah. It's not just
No.
yours. Yeah.
No.
It's theirs anyway,
It's
you know what I
theirs.
mean?
It was theirs before it
But
was
they're
theirs.
so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
They're hilarious. And also, so on the bird table in the morning, I have everything. Jays, wood pigeons,
Lovely.
But also, I get the squirrels and the rats on the bird table.
Yes.
So they're all feeding together. People tell you that rats chase and eat birds. They don't. They're up on there together, getting on with each other.
Sure.
But the magpie has learnt that if he pecks the rat's bum, he jumps off and he can get the food. So he actually pecks his bum. Isn't that fantastic? He's learned. And
The whole drama.
but all
playing
I'm
out.
saying is everyone says that they're nasty, they eat, the rat's scared of the birds, to be honest. Anyway, that's how I see it.
So you're the public relations for the rat now, which is great.
I am really, yeah.
So here we go, yeah.
And you know that we've
our
got the
brothers.
sign up, don't you, with Boomtown Rats. And so Rob Finney was in the last edition of this, the sign writer.
Oh, yeah.
He did me this lovely sign with cartoon pictures of rats, which makes it seem more acceptable.
Sweet.
So there's two lovely rats laughing, and it says Boomtown Rats. So when they come out, they're members of the Boomtown Rats.
I like it.
So I was lucky enough to get a tour last week.
You got a private tour.
I got a private tour of
And no one's seen this garden yet.
of Glenn and Kath's garden, because you're opening it up to the public on the 19th.
We're opening it on the 19th of April, which is Easter Saturday.
Yeah.
The garden will open at 12 o'clock because you'll need a bit of time to see the garden and have a chat and all that. And then the musicians will start coming on at 2 o'clock. I think Liane might start. But we've got some good musicians. I did
Liane
write some
Carroll,
of them
yeah.
down. Steve First is coming as well.
Steve First.
Steve First. Anyone knows Steve First? The Beans Heinz advert with the. Do you remember that holiday when he had all the beans?
Yes.
He's coming
Oh,
down.
my goodness.
Little
Really?
Britain
Steve
fame. And
Who's Lenny Beige?
Lenny Beige.
Because we covered Lenny Beige a couple of weeks ago. didn't
yeah,
we?
so he's coming. Leanne, Mike Hatchard, Yahoo and Chef. Yahoo's a really good Jewish friend of mine, and Sidney Bennett.
Yeah.
Sidney.
But not Sidney Bennett. Jeff Sapsford and Susan Wheeler, Claire Nicholson, Roger Hubbard.
Lovely.
I mean, this is mega, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's better than Glennstonbury.
Yeah.
This wasn't meant to compete with my Glennstonbury, but it is at the moment because now, also, do you know Caboose, Heidi and John? They're going to come on. We're going to finish at 7 because Kath said to me, we're not going on after 7, you know, this is just a little one. But
Yeah.
no, they're coming on at 7,
All right.
so Caboose are going to play
They
now.
pushed the envelope.
So,
Finale.
Eh?
They're your finale.
Yeah, well, no, because Blair's arriving back at the airport at about 4 o'clock, and he might come along. Oh, don't let Kath see this podcast, because no, seriously, I've been living, you know. What have you been telling people?
You've been telling people.
Oh, no, that'd be. Oh, one other thing I've got to say is, we're doing free tea and coffee and all that business all day,
Yeah.
and it's a tenner. But sadly, no dogs, because I've got kids in the
you
garden.
can't have dogs. no.
Okay.
But I do, you know, I understand people, you know, and normally if a person comes up on their own with a dog, but if I have 10 or 15 dogs in the garden
No.
with kids and the dogs get stressed,
Yeah.
I'm going to get health and safety on my back. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
What
of
were you
course.
doing with dogs?
Yeah.
And you, so
Because your garden is built
I apologise
on
for
a
that.
on a slope. So if you go to Glenn's garden, you go down country into the garden itself, because it covers some area.
Yeah.
What have you got acreage?
I
wise?
don't
You
know.
It's
People
just
don't.
large.
4,840 square yards is an acre, is it,
Oh,
or
I don't
something?
know.
Up from
But
school
it's
days.
but what Glenn's
Is it an acre?
I don't know. I'd love to find out actually. But the thing
find
is,
out.
there are
It
gardens.
makes me ache. So that acre.
It
It is an acre.
It's an acre.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love that. Boom, boom, here a week. But the beauty of it is there are gardens within gardens within gardens. So you've got sculpture. You've got he's built platforms, because you're a bricklayer, aren't you, by trade?
I'm a bricklayer, really. I'm not a carpenter. I'm
No.
absolutely useless at carpentry, but it's only bits of wood, and if you're not worried about the joints
But
looking
you
perfect,
you
which I
recycle
don't.
stuff.
Everything's recycled.
Upcycle, don't you?
Oh, upside, whatever you call it. I
Yeah.
get wood from everyone, bits of old scrap. So when you see it, there's hardly any wood's been bought. So most of it I get like that. But with gardens, if I give anyone advice, like in a wood, you don't normally get a lot of colour. You know, because the soil is the trees are taking up all the goodness. So I build raised beds, which is why you had all them hyacinths in flower. You know, because if you put a raised bed, you can good soil in, and all the raised beds, which are about that high, at the bottom of them, and this is every raised bed. If ever you do a raised bed, remember this: get one of them storage boxes. You know, those plastic storage box
Yeah,
things.
yeah, great things, yeah.
Cut a little opening in it, put it in the bottom, make a little entrance into that, and then when you fill your soil around it, you've got a little hedgehog house at the
Oh,
bottom.
that's so sweet, yeah.
So
You've
if
got
you did
all
that all
that.
over your garden, there's lots of little hedgehog houses.
Yeah.
Because we're losing our hedgehogs, which is part of the reason I'm trying to get them back into the garden. And people say that badgers and all that, I know this, they're going to have to live with badgers, but if you've got plenty of places for them to hide, I think they can.
Yeah.
So
So always think about them when you're...
for the last 2 or 3 years, I've done all these things for hedgehogs, and I've not seen one yet.
Not yet.
Isn't it sad?
That's annoying.
I mean, I've done all this for
They
hedgehogs.
might be there.
They might be
You never
there.
know.
Well, it's
Well,
that
something's
thing. If
messing
you
about.
build it, they will come. So
will.
you've got to you can. Ooh, you
Well, I'm
can
going to go to
post them.
Maladams and see if I can adopt any.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And show them the garden, because they won't get a better home. They're in the woods,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and there's
Yeah.
plenty of places. And you've seen the garden, I've got them big wild patches in between the
have.
paths.
It's very wild.
So it gives on to the woods, does it? You've
Yeah.
kind of blending it
Oh,
into...
don't, we're in the woods now.
Ah.
Yeah,
And
very
I
much.
dare say one day I will be taking a call from someone, but the bit of wood that I'm in was absolutely over. You've seen the best of it.
Absolutely.
You know, black, all this stuff had grown up and killed everything.
It's just
Right,
brambles.
right.
So I just decided to clear an opening and I planted all natural trees, so it's all rowans and hazelnut and walnuts
Yeah.
for the wildlife.
Mm,
And so in effect, it's a larder. So in the winter, these birds can come to, and they do. This is where they're going to be, and it's not as if I'm feeding them. The food will be natural food for
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
So I know someone's going to say something, you know, but you can't even get in this because the wood's been neglected, sadly. So I cleared all the rubbish out, all the junk that people have been chucked in there. You can't see any rubbish now. It's all clean, and it's just that you can't even. In all the time I've been there, I've only ever seen four or five people in that bit of garden, because you have to go through, you know. I saw one young couple. Did I tell you this story? I'm allowed to
Don't
say it
think
on
you
there.
did.
They were actually making love on the steps.
Oh.
Seriously. I mean, I said, you have to cut that. I mean, it's not a big thing, is it?
You didn't say
But
anything
you know,
wrong.
I went through, I opened the door, the light was on, and there they were.
Yeah.
And then I was sat on my deck in one day, and a group of ramblers come up. They thought it was part of the brook park.
Really?
And on Saturday they got their little haversacks on their back.
That's sweet.
But apart from that, you can't get into the wood only through my house, really. So I don't think I'm doing any harm. Someone, you know.
No.
Well, you're coppicing, which is really important. When people, when they have woodland, any of the woodland around Sedlescombe, you have to go in and coppice.
No, you have to, yeah.
So you have to cut down certain things, otherwise it just gets strangled.
You saw what's happening. All these wild things got roses growing now that was there, rambling. Everything's coming up that couldn't survive before.
No, exactly.
So it's changed the whole thing, you know what I mean?
The landscape is really different.
And it's when you see the garden, I don't know if any of you have seen Friar Park, George Harrison's garden, and if you haven't, go onto YouTube, check out Friar Park. Do you know anything about Friar Park?
No.
We'll look now.
It's mega. I just have to say, my teeth, I got my teeth knocked out when I was younger, and they slipped, see? I'll just tell you one funny story, right? I was seriously, I was in Crown House here. I went to Crown House, and you know, when you go in Crown House, there's a door there, and the musicians are playing, and as you go in, you don't want to interfere, so you're looking at the musicians, you know what I mean? In case,
of course.
So I opened that door, you know the one and I'm stood there, trying to be cool, conscious that people might be looking at me, like, you know what I mean? So I've got my coat on, you know, like you do.
Of course.
And I've got a sandwich which was outside, which Liz, have I told you this story? So I bite into the sandwich, trying to do it all casual, you know.
Yeah.
My false teeth came out in the sandwich. And I was like this. Do you know how embarrassing is that? Because I had to shuffle out the door, and I thought, and they're slipping out now, because sometimes when you clean them really hard, they get loose, you know what I mean? If you don't clean it for a month, they stick in there, but I keep cleaning mine, they keep falling out.
Sure.
Damn it.
So
how embarrassing, my image, you know what I mean, went down like that. Because you can't imagine what it's like when they're stuck in the sandwich and you can't get them out of the sandwich.
Absolutely.
I bet no one saw.
Eh?
That was just you, like when you're in.
But you've now
that
told
funk,
the
no one
world.
else. Yeah.
So I'm just
No one else
explaining why. So if you see me keep doing that and putting them back in.
It's fine. It's all good. We're not.
Now talking about gardens, so Friar Park,
Yes.
Friar Park is that this guy Frank, I think his name was Frank Swift. No, Frank Crisp. He designed it years and years ago with his garden, and it's bonkers. It's bonkers. Like there's all these wonderful things I cannot tell you how good this garden is. Absolutely crazy. And then when George Harrison was looking for a property, they found it. It's ridiculous. You know, I can't explain it. You've got to go and see what it's like. So I've modelled my garden a little bit on that, where there's loads of different rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, his was mega. He had big buildings, you know, it was unbelievable.
Big follies and things.
Wow, it was absolutely fantastic. So check it out, Friar Park, George Harrison. So it's on them lines, because that's the sort of garden, like my garden, are all wild. And from gardeners' point of view, you can watch these gardening programmes and you'll see things, people might go, you know, Versailles, say, or these lovely sculptured gardens. But for me, they're fantastic gardens, but they're not incorporating wildlife.
No.
Do you understand? You can go around there and you won't see nothing. Well, surely it's about wildlife. Do you understand? It's their ground.
Absolutely.
So it's okay doing all this, but you're just, you know, that's it. There's nothing there.
Have you seen
just a few fountains.
Have you seen many creatures and beasties coming into your garden? You know, because you've got the two, haven't you? The one that you started with, and then this is an expansion.
Well, they all come in the old one, but the new one, they're there. I've got a couple of foxes that are just following me around now, so they must have something down there. I've got the biggest. Did you see that big bird table? I've got this big lump of wood, massive thing. So I built this bird table, and I put the food on there now, and I get all the birds coming out the woods. But in particular, and I used to get them years ago, I got these jays. And you know what a jay is? It's like a part of the magpie family. And it's got a white rump when he flies away, you know.
And the blue.
So on the table I put peanuts and peanuts in their shells. He loves them. You know, it's fantastic because he keeps swooping in, swooping off out. And then you get the squirrels and all that on the table as well, and you know, everything, blackbird, robins obviously. They follow me around all day.
They
blackbirds
will do,
and
because
robins.
as soon as you turn over a bit of earth,
They're there.
they're there, because they're
Wham,
like,
bam.
oh, that's a supermarket for them, isn't it? Worms.
And blue tits, and obviously Mars tits, coal tits, great tits, all the tit family come, you know.
Any goldfinches?
Do you know what? Goldfinches are a rarity nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, I used to get them. I've got what do you call teasel,
Yes,
all that
I was going
stuff.
to say they love a
They
teasel.
love teasel.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we will get goldfinches back, you know, because they're such a delicate little
That's
thing.
so beautiful.
They are
yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
I've got a lovely bit of film when I got one that was wounded, and he's sitting on my shoulder, and I filmed him sitting on my shoulder. It was fantastic. Anyway, goldfinches, no, don't see greenfinches. Don't see any greenfinches nowadays.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what's happened to greenfinches. If anyone's seen greenfinches in their garden, tell me, because I can't see any. But goldcrest,
Goldcrest as well. Yeah.
lovely little goldcrest. He's even smaller, isn't he?
You had quite a few tits in there when I was over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They.
But it was tea time, and they
Yeah.
tend to sort
Well,
of.
I think they fast like me because you know they don't eat all day. These birds. I think they know, and like even the rat, he won't eat in certain times, but there's a certain time of the day when he will come out. But then he won't bother. Do you know what I mean? We're the only people that just keep snacking all day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Keep eating. These animals know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They give their stomachs
They
time
eat
to.
what they need.
Tell us
Yeah,
about
they
your-
eat what they need. We overeat, you know. I
What
mean,
kind
I've
of
got.
fasting do you do?
Eh?
Is that something you do every day?
Yeah. I mean, I never used to sort of, don't get me wrong, I'm not sort of going into a big thing about fasting. But logically, it makes sense to give your stomach time to reset and not, you know, all the time you're eating, it's not getting a chance to do all the good, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you're just stuffing more food
Doesn't
in.
get time to rest.
No. So and it's not difficult to fast. I mean, I don't eat at all in the morning, and I don't eat till sort of 3 or 4 o'clock. You know, I just don't touch anything if I can help it. And I don't miss it. Once you've got used to it, you don't even think about
No,
it.
your
Part of
body
your
just
rhythm,
gets
yeah.
used to it.
Yeah, you know, in the old days, you'd go out and you'd keep, I'll have, you know, I don't know, cakes or something, you know, a sausage roll, you know, but none of that now. Just stop it. And when I do snack.
Although Kath makes a lovely banana bread.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
my big problem is Kathy is such a good cook.
She's
Oh,
you
really?
know.
good.
She's the most incredible
It
cook.
was straight out of the oven.
Oh,
She
she
went,
does
"Have
the
a
most
bit." I went,
delicious cakes.
I can't. And then I had 2 pieces.
I know, it's so lovely. But you want to taste her chocolate brownies. I mean, Mike Willis's kids go berserk on them, you know what I mean?
They're loaded.
Can't say no to that.
They fight but she is incredible. You know, I keep telling her, why don't you just sell them somewhere or do something with them, you know, because she is so good. But for me, it's difficult because what am I meant to do? I'm trying not to eat sugar, you know, because sugar, it breeds the bad, you know what I mean, the bad bacteria. You know, you've got to put stuff in you.
Be sensible.
So it's like Oscar Wilde says, I can resist everything but temptation. Do you know what I mean? And then you look at this cake, and what you have to do, anyone who wants to go into fasting, is you look at something like a cake, and you say to yourself, do I want that cake? Yes, I do. Does my stomach want that cake? No, it doesn't. So think of your stomach before you, and then your stomach will think of you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Then it'll look after you. I mean, I'm not just saying it, I'm never ill. I'll probably die tomorrow, but if I do, you
You've
can
heard it
quote
here
this
first.
one. But no, I'm very rarely ill.
Yeah.
You know, people say, I've got a cold, you're going to catch it. I don't catch hardly anything. And even like people look at my hands, I mean, I know, I tried to scrub this morning, but even then, people go on about it, but I don't mind my hands in the soil, I don't mind, you know, getting used to
That
things.
keeps you well, I think,
Yeah,
having your hands
it doesn't
dirty.
worry me.
Yeah.
I don't put disinfectant, you know what I mean? In COVID, they were wiping that stuff on their hands all the time.
Yeah.
Well, would you drink that stuff?
No.
No. What would you want to put it on your hands for? I mean, I said drink it. No, but don't put it on. Anyway,
Just use soap.
People
and
are
water,
welcome to
darling.
do-
It's much easier.
yeah. So you know, they are exceptionally deep, but it's ground in. And this morning I was scrubbing them, but look.
But you're doing loads of work at the moment.
I'm
aren't you?
busy.
Getting,
You've got working hands, yeah.
you're getting
Yeah.
the stage ready for the
It's
event.
what I'm doing now, and also no one's seen it yet. I shouldn't tell you this because it's meant to be a secret, but I'm making a yellow brick road.
Are you? Oh,
Nice
brilliant.
one.
Yeah, because I fancy this little garden. You know, I've got that Alice in Wonderland sort of garden with the clock and the rabbits and all that.
Yeah.
Now I want this one, which is from, you know, Wizard of Oz, which was one of my favourite films ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Not just because people call me the Scarecrow from it because he's got no brain and everything else, you know what I mean? But it was the Wizard of Oz, yeah. So I've got this garden, and the only way you'll get into it is you can see it, but there's the only way through a tunnel sort of thing via this little, you know, it's called a yellow brick road, but it's actually big timbers which I'm going to paint into brickwork. So
Yeah.
it's like, but it will be follow the yellow brick road, and kids can get in there easy, but adults will have to sort of bend down,
Yeah.
and then they come up in the garden.
Put themselves
So
out
what's
there.
great is if you're going there for the first time and there's some people in the garden and you're a bit sort of, don't you know, you've got to bend down when you come out and make yourself look, do you understand? And it's a real leveller, you know what I mean? So if you do want to go in it, you're going to have to do that.
Sunken garden?
Eh?
Is it near the sunken?
Yeah.
Ah.
So I've just been flat out. And so I had to dig, believe it or not, to get it to go down and up. You couldn't get in at all under this big branch that was come down the tree. So I had to dig a trench, probably that deep.
Wow.
Honestly, it was like something in World War One. The trench, and I've shutted up all this trench, and then they go down along and up the other side.
This sounds amazing.
I mean, Kath keeps saying, "What are you doing down there? What are you doing down there?"
Can't tell you. I'll have to kill you.
But she has to put up with a lot. I mean, she's incredible.
She does,
Kath.
darling.
Yeah, she does.
I tell you what struck me, because I've lived in this town 40 odd years, and we've crossed paths on several different occasions, but I've never met Kath. And I walked into your garden, and I felt like the prodigal daughter had come home. She was so warm.
But
Hello, darling. She bundled me up in this massive great hug.
I wish I got that treatment.
Yes, but everyone says to me, they say, oh, you know,
I know
Glenn.
that one.
They say, you know Glenn, don't you? I say, yeah. And they say, but have you met Kath? I went, I don't think I have. They go, oh.
Yeah, no,
and
she's the main one.
She's just such a
How
darling.
she puts up with me, I don't know.
She's got massive amounts of patience.
Well, she's incredible. I don't know, you know him mad 55 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable.
It's
But I
nice
think what
to
helps
cheers
is...
to that.
Yes. Cheers.
But I think what has helped is that with this face blindness, I wake up with a different girl every morning, and no, seriously, and she gets better looking every day. So it's not a bad thing. But I'll tell you a funny story though. Not a funny. Please forgive me for this. When we were, first got married, and everyone moans nowadays about the cost of living and that, but in them days, this is what it was like. We had a kitchen, and Ads and Jarrett had these orange saucepans and frying pans. And every Friday, I would get a saucepan 1 week.
Yeah.
That's what it was like in them days, telling us we had it great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing was, it was exciting waiting for the Friday to get it. And we've lost that excitement now because everything you get is instant. Yeah. So I used to get excited about getting the photographs. You get 20 photographs, they're all useless, but it was the build-up that kept you excited.
You put them in, didn't you? You put your film in, and I remember my kids are in their 30s now, but I took extortionate amounts of photographs of my sons, and I'd put in about 6 rolls, and they'd look at me and go, "Are you professional?" I go, "No, I'm just mad." And I'd put in 6 rolls of either 24s or 46 or 36 or a combination of. But you couldn't, that was on that'd be on a Thursday afternoon. You couldn't get them till the following Tuesday. Yeah. And it was like, or you put them in at the beginning of the week and you get them at the end of the week.
But that waiting, the anticipation.
I've got to go
do you understand?
and get my
and
film out.
That stops depression a bit because you're looking forward to something.
Anticipation.
In life, it's about looking forward to something. Yeah, totally. Same with LPs. I used to look forward to getting an import from America.
Yeah. Yes.
Keep going down the disc jockey. Has it come in yet, Alan? No. When you got it, it was unbelievable. Yeah. But now everything's instant.
Yeah.
Even, it sounds stupid, but I haven't got one of your phones with your things on it.
Sure. No.
But I'll be in a pub and someone, and please, I'm not being taken, the rise out of people for doing it. But they'll show me a photo and say, "Look," and they've just taken the picture, and I'm looking at it live. Do you understand? I'm thinking, hang on, I'm looking at that live and it's moving. Do you understand? I'm not really worried. I mean, it sounds awful, but it's just but it's all this instant. Everything nowadays is meant to be instant pleasure, instant gratification, and it's the anticipation and looking forward to something is
that's the excitement.
The event's absolutely useless sometimes, but it's the looking forward to it. Exactly. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Even if the photo's crap, you look forward to it, which was brilliant. And we're losing that. Even the Woodstock, the Glastonbury. I say Woodstock because it's based on Woodstock as well.
It's in June. Yeah.
It's in June. But also that, and now the Get Hastings one, which I'm going to do every Easter Saturday now, I think, to make it an annual event. Now, it sounds silly, but in a little way, that gives people something to look forward to. Do you understand? Yeah. You're in the winter, and you think, come April, Get Hastings, we're going to see all the people again, all our friends, have a chat. Yeah. That's the secret. Do you understand? And it's with old people. Old people struggle. And I remember years ago going to St Mary's and St Mary's Cup, and they were looking for ideas, and I kept saying to them, look, can you let me have one day a week where I will get musicians and do music hall stuff and entertainers. I knew lots of people.
Sure. Yeah.
I said, let's have one day a week where I'll get these musicians to come and we'll do an old time, old people. And this idea was that if you had an aunt or a nan or something, or a next door neighbour that you knew wanted to get out, you would go and take them in your car. And I said, the council can give free parking in the car park, and the people that bring them down can go in for coffee below, and you let the person go upstairs and give them a show.
Sure.
And the financial side of it, because people say, I don't do grants, all the films I've ever made, I never, ever ask, I do it at my own thing. So, but to finance it, I know that if you had a donation box, and you said to the old people, if anyone has got a couple of pennies, and we don't want it, I know some people would have lots of money, some of them old people.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah,
I know
put a
that.
watch in, yeah,
So, and I'd say, if we can keep this going for old people, I know old people that have got money would have said, oh, we put a few grand in there. Do you understand? I know that. They would have done that to help people. And so I had these great ideas, but
That's good.
Have they knocked it back?
No, didn't do it. No.
Maybe it'll land somewhere else.
Eh?
It feels like the sort of thing that would happen.
It's floated
I think
out.
it'll work.
Yeah.
They look forward to that once a month.
It's floated out in the air now, so
Well, I think it's a lovely thing for old
it's a
people.
lovely thing.
You know, that they can meet their friends once a month, or
Yes.
even if just once a month, it
Sure.
gives them something to look forward to.
Posh Club do that.
Yeah, the Posh Club do it. And
Yeah.
hats off to the Posh Club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, big
100%.
Yeah.
Anna and, Blair
Absolutely.
and all that, and who help out. And there's lots of other people, I don't know their names, but
Yeah.
the Posh Club's fantastic.
Absolutely.
But I just think there's room for another sort of one
I
as
totally
well,
agree.
that's more,
I totally-
that more people know
Because they
about.
do
Yeah.
theirs monthly, and you could do, if yours came off, if it became a thing, you could have that so that they could, the people, I'm squeaky.
I'll give you some oil.
If you,
Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, do you remember? He used to give him a bit of oil. And
so
the lion was like me, a coward.
you could stop that.
I am a coward, I'll tell you a story in a minute about that.
Every 2 weeks they'd have something, so you could have Posh Club, and then you'd have yours.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
let's
need to
face
be
it.
conscious
Think
of old
about-
people, a
Yeah.
bit more than we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
John
it's-
Prine sang a great song, Hello, in there. If you ever get the chance to listen to John Prine sing, and it's just about old people, and if you see someone, say hello.
Always.
Yeah.
I'm always doing it in queues
Give a
or in
smile.
whatever,
Yeah,
say hello.
Yeah.
Because they need that
You
connection.
might be the only person that says hello to them that
Yeah.
day.
All day, yeah.
Well, it's funny about all this nowadays, this mobile, with the phones and that, what it's doing, our younger generation are not getting the contact with people that they should get. And I listened to a little thing the other day, this girl, she was doing a talk about it. And she said she was on the bus, she said that she saw a young lad and a young girl, and they were both on their mobiles. And she said, I know it was nosy, but I thought I'd look over and see what they were doing over their shoulders. They were both on dating agencies looking for the sack person that was sitting next to them. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The person you want's there.
Oh my God.
Do you
that's
understand?
cool.
But they
Yeah.
weren't talking to that person.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. Do you know understand? It's crazy. Anyway, I was going to tell you a funny story about being a coward.
Go on then.
Right? And I'm the biggest coward. I am definitely that the lion in the in Wizard of Oz. Yeah, like that. Well, when I was younger, I went out one night and it was the mods and mockers stuff or something going on, and I was like an old hippie. I was scruffy all the time. Biggest coward. But anyway, down the old town, down the Memorial, and they had the downstairs toilets.
Yes.
So Kath goes down to the toilet, and then I walk along, and there's a young lad on the railings, and he wasn't very big, and he sort of spat in front of me, and said so. And I thought, he's quite small actually, I'm on my own, So I turned round and was going to confront him, but as I did, loads of blokes come running over the road. I thought, wow, sod this. So I legged it down to the park, 100 miles an hour. Well, I had these slip-on shoes because I never have laces ever because you've got to keep tying them up, so everything is slip-on. And they came off in the road. I ended up in Alexandra Park hiding in the bushes. Seriously, and these guys were looking for me. And so I ended up going around my mate's flat and sat there chilled out with my mate. Anyway, when I went back home, Kath said, where have you been? I've had the police out all night. She saw my shoes in the road. And they had the police out looking for me. And another story about being a coward. No, that's true.
Did you get your shoes back?
Yeah, got the shoes. Yeah, but, but another about being a coward. I was coming out of this turning the other day, out the road, and there was a motorbike, and he was about 100 yards up the road, and I thought I got time to come out. I went out, well, he was going quite fast, and he went whizzing up along the side of me, see, and I'm in the car like that, and he went, put the window down. And I put the window down and he started swearing at me, you know what I mean? You ain't done it. I went, oh, you know what? I thought, sod him. But he followed me. I thought, oh no, he's following me now.
Yeah.
And every time I tried to go a different way, he kept following me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then when I stopped at the traffic lights, waited for the green light, you know, the red light, just dashed in quick before the red, you know, he followed me. I thought, oh Jesus, Glenn, I can't keep going. I've got no petrol left now. I was driving around Onington. Then I was thinking, where can I go where I know a mate who's bigger than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Couldn't think. So I thought in the end, I've got to blag it, Glenn. You've got to, you know, that's it. I can't waste all morning driving round. So I'm coming down Blackman Avenue, and he's alongside me, like shouting and bawling. And I thought, right, I know what I do. I'll get out of the car, and then I'll get out, and I'm good at talking my way out of things. And I'll go, oh mate, I've just been diagnosed with cancer. You know, so, you know, that'll get me out of it.
Yeah.
So pulled over and he pulled in front of me, shouting and bawling. I thought, okay, let's do it.
Still bawling.
Got out of the car. Well, I must have looked a little bit tougher than I am because I was like this, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So I got out of the car, went over to him, just started to talk. He shot off.
Yeah.
He was scared. He went down the road shouting at me.
Bless you when
I
you're
was just going to say sorry, mate. And, you know,
Yeah.
and he thought I was after a confrontation. So anyway, any more stories I can tell?
So you talked your way out of it. I think
Love
we're on
it.
time. I think. But
How long have we got left?
is it,
Don't know. Where are we doing?
What are we?
I just want to tell you one other funny story.
25 minutes.
Oh,
5 minutes
darling.
left.
No, you got literally one story left. Tell us one story.
Well, hang on, I should be plugging the event. Well, you know all about
should
the
be
event,
plugging
don't you?
the event. Yeah.
And it's loosely based on Woodstock, my things. Anyone who knows about Woodstock, the guy that organised Woodstock didn't have a clue about music, really. Didn't have an idea, like me. Was passionate about music, organised Woodstock. It was the most chaotic thing that ever happened. 500,000 people turned up at Woodstock. It was totally disorganised. Whatever, you know, you hear about it, all the bands were out of set, but everyone loved it.
They did.
You know, it was just organic. People were getting on stage.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. So the events I do are based on that, really.
Yeah.
It's going to be, if it rains, it rains, because we are undercover, but we're not going to let that, because it poured that day and everything else, but they didn't let it spoil their fun.
No.
Exactly.
So this is really what it's about. I don't expect 500,000 people to turn up, but you know, wouldn't it be
You
lovely
wanna
if we
sell
ended up with a
amazing.
few hundred and they say there was an event in Onington
Yeah.
which was going to have a few people turn up.
Yeah.
500 people have been
Just
trying to get in this
A little
garden.
warning though, it's a nightmare to park there. So
Parking
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
nightmare, so yeah, you have to get a
So
taxi
get
or
a
something.
cab or share a cab. I don't know what the bus.
Well, I
situation
suggest also park a few streets away, because if you do and there's other people going, it's quite a nice feeling to walk and see other people
Yeah, that's
walking
really
and say,
nice,
where are you
yeah,
going?
yeah.
I'm going to the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad idea just to park, you know,
Yeah.
a couple hundred yards away, walk to the house,
Yeah.
enjoy that moment, you know what I mean, and get there and feel great and think, here we go, have a laugh, you know.
It's
Do a
There
quite-
will be a laugh.
It's warm, and the atmosphere there is warm and very conducive to. You'll meet people you've never met. You'll meet all the people that you would like to meet as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is, because I've got to stop at night.
Yeah.
So the beauty of it is, you'll see people in the garden that, you know, you might have seen Liane and all that performing and never spoken to them. But if you see anyone in the garden that you want to talk to, you've got a great opening gambit, which is the garden.
Yeah.
So it's something to talk about.
Exactly.
You just say about the garden, and that is so important. You know what I mean?
Gorgeous. Yeah.
And also, last thing. Also, this is the last thing. Seriously, now I've got to say this one. I've also got in the garden, because John Prine was my favourite ever singer. I'll be really quick. And he wrote a lovely, you know, track, and loads of lovely tracks. But he did a CD called The Tree of Forgiveness. And I looked at this Tree of Forgiveness because it's my favourite CD, Tree of Forgiveness by John Prine. And it ends in my name, G. Veness.
It does.
So I thought, that's great.
Forgiveness.
Yeah.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness, yeah. So that made me feel good about that. I thought, oh, well done, John. Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, now I've got this lovely tree, and I'm getting Rob Finn, my sign writer, to do me a lovely little sign, or Marcus, because Marcus keeps saying he wants to do something. And it's going to say Tree of Forgiveness, very small, and it's going to be at the bottom of one of the trees. And if you've got something you want to, you know, like when you go to confession and all that, you go under the Tree of Forgiveness, But more importantly, if there's someone in the garden that you've had a row with or don't talk to, and I'll have a few hundred there, I expect, but if there is, I can't spend all my time under that tree, but you can go under this tree of forgiveness, sit with this person and just forget it, because we haven't got time in this world to have confrontation. We just don't want to do it. We are all one. You know, that's what I think all the time. We are all brothers and sisters. Get over that problem.
Get over the problem.
So you can look for the tree of forgiveness and find it, and then you can sit there in this seat. There's a lovely little seat next to it. And I've done it a few times with people. They've come up and they've actually got together again.
Yes, absolutely.
Because let's forget that. You know, life's too short. Go on, you've got to stop this show.
Through it.
Don't. Look, I haven't started my notes yet. Look. And what's this? Oh, it's the menu from the Japanese restaurant.
Of course it is. Don't stop. Hold that thought, because that can come back. Listen,
You're coming back, aren't you?
You're coming back.
Yeah.
You're coming back to.
Am I?
Yes, because you're coming back to step in for Kath.
You don't know. You watch.
You're going to.
You know, you might have to ban me.
This will be
He
hilarious.
talks too much. We don't want him back on.
We may well be bleeping or all sorts, but the whole point of this is to raise money for Get Hastings and
Yeah, I
Get
haven't said nothing about that. Tell them.
So Get Hastings magazine is Mel and her crew, Mel Elliott and her crew. So where we've got lovely Glenn on the front. Every how often does she do this? It's every
3 months.
3 months. They're quarterly, aren't they?
And better than that, yeah.
And it's such a brilliant thing, and it's beautifully produced. And then
and they rely on advertising, and there's hardly any adverts.
Yeah,
Not
hardly
like
any
Country
adverts.
Life,
Exactly.
you know, where it's all adverts in one article.
That's what
Exactly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is all articles. And
So and it covers everybody, but the stock, the paper stock that this is made on, is very, very nice. So I keep all of mine, and it is top notch. It's so good. So
I came in to plug that, and I mentioned it all. I didn't talk about myself.
You're a bit of a sod. I love you, but I love you. You
This
are
is what we're
awful.
doing it for.
You are awful, but I love you. So it's for Get Hastings magazine. So the tickets are a tenner. That's nothing.
That is
Free
nothing.
tea and
So
coffee.
it
No, it's peanuts.
starts at noon, finishes at 7-ish.
Ish.
And all the details we'll put all the details underneath. So come and enjoy. And you get to meet
It will be good.
Kath with the TH.
And if it rains, don't worry.
Don't worry.
We got the Crocodile stage undercover anyway.
Yeah.
And that's got, you know, the main stage is
amazing.
undercover.
Go and look
All
at
these different bits.
go and look at a bonkers garden that is made with absolute love. And in Hollington, remember to leave your car at home or park it far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
and walk up. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But you've been a darling.
Oh, and these are from the garden. We didn't.
Oh,
say,
and these are
but
from the garden.
Thank you so much.
This is
Those.
because
Picked freshly this morning. Every flower is different.
It is
Every-
like we all are.
See?
Yeah,
They're all-
very nice.
You know, and you
Demo.
can't say that one flower's more beautiful than another, can you? Because every flower, everything in this world is
It's all
beauty.
got a face,
Beauty's in
though.
the eye to behold, and they're all beautiful.
They've all got
aren't they?
little pretty faces, haven't they?
Yeah.
And even if you go just to have a look around the garden, it's joyful, absolutely joyful.
And you can pick a bunch of flowers. I don't mind. Seriously.
Bless your soul.
Thanks,
Bonus.
Glenn. So nice to meet you.
You've been a darling,
Yeah,
as you
sure.
always are. And we'll see.
And
you
thanks,
again.
sir.
We'll
Thanks
see
for
you
having
again
me.
very
Thanks for having me.
shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
So
Have a good weekend.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Cheers.
Hey.
Thanks, Glenn.
Okay,
We need
take
to
care.
take a selfie.
Darling.